This is the story of Colin Bodill and Jennifer Murray. Their mission? To achieve what no man or woman has achieved. To be the first to circumnavigate the globe in the simplest of flying machines. Jennifer in her single-engined helicopter and Colin in his microlight. Aided and abetted by little more than their wits, the elements, 3 support pilots, and 2 journalists to record the event. They were friends in high places. In June 2000, Colin Bodill and Jennifer Murray started their respective round-the-world record attempts from Brooklands in England. Within the first 2 weeks, they had crossed Europe, the Mediterranean and the deserts of the Middle East, where mechanical problems caused delays and some rattled nerves.
We'll get it fixed. Just positive attitude required.
Averaging around 500 miles a day, Colin, Jennifer and the 2 support aircraft then ran the gauntlet of the monsoon storms across India.
The weather, especially going over to Chittagong, we hit some mega weather.
In fact, it was that bad I couldn't see the instrument panel on the aircraft.
By day 24, they had reached Vietnam and were preparing to cross mainland China.
Getting a clearance to fly through China is really stunning. It's one of the most important clearances in the world.
Colin headed off to China first in the slow-moving microlight. The others would catch up en route after they had refueled the helicopter.
Just crossing the China border, and again, it's still monsoon season there, and the route they'd given us was over the biggest mountains in China, which I was dreading anyway.
The storms had forced Colin to fly off his pre-arranged course, and that didn't go down well with the Chinese authorities.
We were getting very strange answers back from China. Nothing made sense. And then we got an outright, "Your clearances have been cancelled." Wow, what can that be about? It must be something to do with Colin.
Colin did not report at Nanning, and now the Chinese Air Force say we cannot go.
In his haste to escape the storms, Colin had strayed into restricted military airspace.
I just remember seeing this almighty military airfield as I was going over it, and I thought, Christ, I'm obviously somewhere where I shouldn't be. There's nothing on the map showing any areas where you shouldn't be going, but obviously it was all top secret. And I remember thinking, well, I hope they've not seen me.
Chinese had sent 2 jets up to shadow his route through China and to shadow him. And they had seen straight away that he's immediately off route, near militarily sensitive areas.
My mobile phone rang, and it was Colin sounding very excited for Colin. But that they were firing at you?
Having deviated from his permitted route, Colin was now perceived as a major security threat.
The interception jets then started firing flares out in front of him across his path.
And you don't realise, actually, when they're actually exploding just yards in front of you, there's shrapnel that comes off him. I was getting hit by shrapnel.
Oh, Christ! They keep dive bombing you, but...
To avoid being shot down, Colin took evasive action.
Anyway, I managed to land in this field, although half of it was mud, half of it was dry. I got down in it. And then the jets were dive bombing me. But within seconds, there was local peasants and farmers running around. And
About 40 peasants?
Exactly.
Oh, Christ.
I think this one is turning into a political issue. It's very bad.
Having forced Colin to land, armed troops were sent to apprehend him.
They're coming to take the phone off you.
They're about to take the phone off him.
So he come running over to me, gets the gun out, and he's got a gun point blank range on my forehead, shaking like this. And we were staring into each other's eyes, which seemed like 10 minutes. It was probably only 3 or 4 minutes. But I just remember the barrel just wisping on my skin, and his hand was shaking so much.
Colin's subsequent arrest and detention by the Chinese soon attracted the attention of the worldwide media.
80 people interrogated him for 3 days, taking over a hotel.
Eventually I made good friends with them all, and they realised what had happened, and they was all there at 6 o'clock in the morning. They filled the plane up for me and sent me on my way, so it was a good result in the end.
With Colin delayed in China, the rest of the team were forced to change their plans.
No, negative access China, no access to China.
They were left with no choice but to fly south, down the coast of Vietnam to Da Nang. From there, they embarked on a long water crossing over the South China Sea to Hong Kong.
It couldn't have been a nicer flight, and you know, we've surprised everyone. We're here a bit early. Hey, and I'm in Hong Kong. Really fantastic.
Jennifer has spent much of her life in Hong Kong, working and raising a family with her husband Simon. He was waiting at the airport, along with her 2 granddaughters, to greet her when she arrived. It would be another 24 hours before Colin caught up with his comrades. He was in surprisingly good spirits, considering his ordeal, and with so many news stories to tell, he should be able to dine out for the rest of his life.
No camera. No films. The Chinese take all the films off.
Oh, really?
You'd be able to get it out of China, that's a fact. It was underwater one night. The whole wing. Yeah, the whole wing went underwater, and the next morning, I mean, it was just...
Went in what water?
Underwater. The field where it was in was a prawn breeding thing.
That evening, Colin and Jennifer were guests of honor at the prestigious China Club, where they were greeted by some of Hong Kong's leading dignitaries, including the governor himself. Colin relaxed with Jennifer and her family over the next 2 days, but with weather windows narrowing, it was soon time to move on again.
We've had a rest from flying, that's for sure. Well, I have. Q's been pretty busy. He's with all his tracking and balancing and helping with the engineers. But yeah, it's been lovely. I've had time with family, and you know, it's home.
So, refreshed and with her helicopter in tip-top condition, Jennifer set off for the island of Taiwan via Hong Kong's spectacular harbour.
Well, I guess I've been up 8 hours already, and just started this leg to Taiwan.
After an overnight stop in Taiwan, the team headed north towards Japan. First stop in the land of the rising sun was Naha, Okinawa, where the press were out in force. The now challenge certainly seemed to have captured the public's imagination in Japan.
It's a long, long haul today. We've got just over 630 miles to go, much our longest haul.
Starting right down at the bottom of the Okinawa chain, 680 miles right up this chain of islands. Very spectacular. Most people don't even know they're there, and we hope that chain of islands are volcanic. After about 7 hours of flying, we've actually met up with Colin. Well, I'll tell him we're breaking right at the end or something. Because the guy wants us to break the formation on landing.
Next stop, Nanki. Unfortunately, a mix-up with the fuel was causing a tedious delay.
A little bit frustrating. We're meant to be in town for a drinks party that has been rescheduled about 3 times.
Part of the permissions that the Japanese gave us was that we fly as one flight. So we need to fly in formation through Japan, and we're coming up to the most sensitive piece of airspace. Tokyo airspace, very complicated. We're all flying together. We're routing through Tokyo airspace, very busy airspace, Narita Airport, and just threading our way through their approach paths and departure paths.
Having negotiated Tokyo's busy airspace, the team were free to land at a small airfield on the outskirts of the city, hotly pursued by a helicopter news crew. This was the headquarters of Alpha Aviation, a helicopter flying school. The owners had played host to Jennifer and Q during their previous round-the-world trip and had prepared a special welcome for their return.
日本語ではそちらにそ